And why did you decide to sponsor Saints Football Club?
Okay, well, we first started talking to Southampton Football Club around about this time last year, so March 2014. And it obviously took two or 3 months worth of negotiation. We actually started talking to Ralph Kruger and Gareth Rogers before Ralph Kruger was actually appointed chairman. So around about 2 weeks before he was actually appointed official chairman for Southampton Football Club, we were talking to him about the sponsorship for the following season, which is the season we're in now. We actually announced the sponsorship, I think it was in early June time. So obviously it took 2 or 3 months worth of negotiation. So before the end of last season, we announced the Southampton Football Club sponsorship. And why we decided to sponsor the Southampton Football Club was very much, it was a global marketing strategy. The English Premier League is very much a global marketing tool, and it's beamed into 650 million households around the world. Okay, so very much from our perspective, from Veho's perspective, is we're trying to build a global brand, and the English Premier League is very much a global marketing tool for us, so we can obviously build the brand globally.
Okay.
Okay.
Has supporting Southampton Football Club pulled your company workforce together, giving you all something in common, and how does that affect your business?
That's a funny question. We do, I mean, obviously being based in Southampton, probably 90% of the workforce are Saints fans. We do actually have a Portsmouth Pompey fan that works here, and we have one Liverpool fan as well. But on the whole, the majority of the workforce here are Saints fans. So to answer your question, yes, it's definitely pulled us all together. You know, on a Monday morning when Saints have played, it's, you know, everyone has a chat about how we got on and where the club's going, and are we going to finish in top 4 for Champions League. So yeah, absolutely, it's really you know, the camaraderie and the togetherness of the business is definitely helped us sponsoring the Southampton Football Club.
Okay. Have you always been a Southampton fan, and has it always been one of your aspirations to sponsor them?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a good question. I was born in Southampton and bred in Southampton, so being born and bred in Southampton, I've always been a Saints fan. So I actually did play for Southampton Schools football team when I was 11, so kind of, that's before Saints had an academy, so kind of played for a Saints youth team myself. So yeah, so I've always been a Saints fan. Now, to answer your second question about aspiring to sponsor Saints, I can honestly say probably not 2 years ago I would have aspirations of sponsoring the Southampton Football Club. Only because 2 years ago, or 2, 3, 4 years ago, we probably weren't in a position, you know, we weren't we didn't have such a big global footprint. And now we do. Obviously it's perfect for Veho. There's so many synergies with Veho and Southampton Football Club. You know, we're both globally ambitious brands. You know, if you consider Southampton as a brand, which are trying to market their brand of football or their brand of the club to a global audience, then there's quite a few synergies with Southampton Football Club and Veho.
Okay. When did you get the idea for Veho, and how did you go about setting up the company?
Again, another good question. So I started Veho on my own in my garage in 2006. It's obviously a quite complicated story actually. Veho was concepted through a previous company that I owned and managed, and it was kind of an accident actually. You know, someone asked me to source a product with no particular brand on it, and I actually just came up with the idea of devising and inventing my own brand, and it really just took off from there. The following year I set up Veho as a company, and the first successful product was actually a film scanner, which is a device that converts 35mm negatives and slides to digital, and it was globally successful straight away. So that's how it got started, and like I said earlier, I set it up originally in my garage, and it was just myself, and I just grew the business organically. So I just reinvested the profits after the first particular order I got. Reinvested the profit.
Okay. In your opinion, do you think that too much money is being invested into football and not enough money is being put into improving our local community sports facilities?
This may not be the PC answer, but I think the balance is right at the moment. I think youth in particular need an idol to look up to. You know, the superstars of the footballing world obviously get mega money. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. You know, you need role models. You know, you need superstars, and also I am actually involved with community football clubs as well. And there are, I feel personally, there's quite a lot of money. There's grants, there's community statuses, and there is money available. You know, the lottery schemes are really, really good as well. So there are grants available for grassroots football. And I do think enough money does get filtered down from the Premier League. There's loads of new schemes that they're devising all the time. So I think the balance is around about right at the moment. And also the new Premier League financial fair trading rules as well has really balanced up the... I really do believe that Southampton Football Club is building the community. You know, it is, you're right, a very diverse community. And with the new administration, Katerina Lieber, the owner, Ralph Kruger, Gareth Rogers, what they've done since the old administration left is very much engage with the local community. You know, the whole bringing the stripes back. I don't know if you saw the bring the stripes are back campaign. That was very much about building the community, building the trust with the fans again. So yes, to answer your question, very much so.
Do you see your involvement with the club lasting long?
Well, we're currently in the first season of a 2-year sponsorship deal. So the involvement will go on to the next season, 2016-17. And beyond that, I don't know. Excuse me. So I'm quite friendly with the previous main shirt sponsor, a guy called Rod from AAP3. And he's involved with the club still. He still has a box. Their box is next to ours actually. So past the sponsorship, who knows? You know, maybe we'll still continue with the co-branded product range after the sponsorship ends. I think that very much depends on who the main share sponsor is next. Okay. So, but we may look at it and extend the 2-year sponsorship deal. So it could go 3, 4, 5 years. You know, companies like Draper Tools, they were sponsored for numerous years, you know, past the original term. Okay. So yeah, don't see any reason why not, really.
How do you think Southampton has benefited from having a Premier League football club in it?
Absolutely, yeah, massively. If you exclude the Beatles and probably Liverpool Football Club, Liverpool as a town, it'd probably be like a whole. You know, it wouldn't be as well globally recognisable. If you go to Brazil, you go to America, and you say Liverpool, they will instantly know. Well, firstly the Beatles, and secondly Liverpool Football Club. You know, and you know, I know that Southampton probably aren't as higher in the hierarchy of English Premier League football teams, but there's no reason why we can't aspire to be there. So, and obviously as well, the more successful Southampton Football Club are on the pitch, the bigger the fan base are. Now, when I say the bigger the fan base are, I'm not talking necessarily about Southampton, the fan base in Southampton, I'm talking about globally. So let's say we build our fan base around the world, 20% over the next 12 months. What would happen is, when those fans, let's say Thailand, come to the UK on holiday, they're actually going to visit Southampton to watch their team that they follow from Thailand. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So it massively puts Southampton Football Club, or Southampton as a town, or city, I should say, on the map.
And just to finish off, do you think that it's possible for Southampton to reach the Champions League?
Again, a really good question. I think it is possible, but maybe not unlikely. Maybe unlikely. Okay. So I think that they could do it, yeah, but I'm not so sure they will, to be honest. Okay. I think they would need to invest more on players, if I'm brutally honest. the season is really, really long. We spend most of the season in the top 4, but again, the season is a very, very long season, and you normally see the top teams, they buy really well in January, and they just they kick on. So the second part of the season, there's a lot of, in the first half of most seasons, there's a lot of disorder. So you see a lot of teams that break into, say, top 6, which aren't normally top 6 teams. By the second half of the season, order starts to take place, and you see the teams, the regular teams that are in the top 6 be there. And to be fair, I do think Saints can finish top 6. It's very, very much a possibility. I think the biggest game that will influence that is the Spurs game. If we beat Spurs, then we will probably finish top 6. That's my prediction. So.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.